Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm on the couch with
Crystal,
and we're going to be talking to you guys about our top 5 tips on how to navigate and survive the holidays as a vegan.
we know that being vegan around the holidays can be hard, especially if it's like the first year or maybe the first holiday you're celebrating with family that you're eating plant-based or eating vegan. And so we wanted to share these tips because we have a lot of experience with this. We've been vegan for many years and we've seen it all.
Yeah, we've gone through it all. Like we both, when we started off, our parents, they've always tried to be supportive, but you know, they didn't have any interest in being plant-based or eating vegan themselves. And you know, that was a long time ago for us. And we've been to family dinners where people have no idea even what like veganism is or any of that. And here we are, we've progressed up to the point where now when our families get together, it's always plant-based meals no matter what, and the holidays are always plant-based. So we just wanted to share some of the tips that kind of got us through the early years to help you guys maybe navigate the holidays a little bit better, and just to prepare you a little bit more and let you know that you're not alone with these struggles, because yeah, we've all been through them.
So tip number 1
is to be prepared. So you probably will be asked some questions. So you want to be prepared with some answers to a lot of the commonly asked questions that we vegans get.
So you'll probably be asked, why don't you eat meat? What do vegans eat?
What do you even eat anymore? Like, I don't understand it. There's like 4 food groups. There's steak, chicken, eggs, and bacon. What do you even eat?
One of the main things I think that I found in the past is people will come up to you with a plate, or they'll point at something on the table and be like, oh, you can't eat this, or can you eat this, or whatever, right? And a way that I like to address that is to kind of like flip it around. I think there's like a lot of power in language. So I like to say, well, you know, I can eat that, but I choose not to. And as a vegan or eating plant-based, you know, these are the sorts of things that we choose not to eat. You know, then you can list them if they're still listening. Yeah, don't feel like you have to overeducate people, but definitely like be prepared with some answers. And another answer that I found is like really helpful is just to say that you feel better eating this way. You don't have to, you know, if you're not prepared and you don't want to go into the whole, you know, ethical side of things and talking about the animal agriculture, or how, you know, how can you still love animals and eat them too? If you don't want to get into all that, you just say, I feel better eating this way, and this is just what I'm doing. And stay strong with your convictions.
And just be open and honest, because people are interested. And this might be your family's kind of first introduction to someone who's eating this way. So be prepared with some quick answers. But like Derek said, don't have to overeducate anyone. You're not there to do that just yet.
No. And a little side to that too, I think, is if there are going to be some jokes, you know, people are going to make some jokes, you know,
and be
have
like, some fun, have some play.
Yeah, be like, oh, look, Derek's just got like a plate full of rabbit food or whatever. And then, you know, just play along rather than being offended, be about like, oh yeah, I love my rabbit food or something, right? Like, just keep it fun and light, and just know, you know, you might be the butt of some jokes, but it's not a reflection of anything you're doing. It's always a reflection of that other person's, you know, inner struggles and battles. Next point is, if you're gonna go over to someone's house, it's nice to talk to the host or a common friend or family member first and let them know the deal. Let them know that you are plant-based, so you don't like just spring it on them, right?
Exactly. So the worst nightmare of a host is to not have food prepared for someone, or to not know that someone has like an allergy or a dietary requirement. So if you're going to someone's house, let the host know, or if you don't know the host, maybe let like a common family member or a friend who's going who does know the host really well, maybe let them know, and so they can pass that on. Now the reason why it's really nice to talk to the host yourself is to just say, hey, I'm vegan. And they might say, oh my goodness, amazing, I can make so many good plant-based dishes. Or they might say,
holy smokes, I have no idea how to make any vegan food. I've never made a peanut butter sandwich or even cut up an apple in my life.
So that could be hard for them.
Yeah.
And you don't really want to put anyone in that position where they're like freaking out that they not only have to feed, you know, their guests, but they also have to like come up with this elaborate meal for you. And so the really nice thing is to let them know, like, hey, don't worry about it. I can bring my own stuff. I can bring my own dish. I'll bring, you know, a few meat alternatives, like whatever. Or you can even ask them if they need some help preparing some stuff. And then, you know, if it's a close family member, it might be fun for them, because then you're kind of in the kitchen with them, helping them and kind of showing them the ropes of how to make plant-based eating really delicious.
Yeah, and that brings us to our third tip, and that is to bring a delicious dish for yourself and something that you can share with others. So the way that I like to approach this is when I do talk to the host or whatever, I don't usually ask them if I can bring something. I usually tell them I'm going to bring something now, right? Because a lot of the time they're like, no, and then they like struggle to figure it out.
Yeah.
But now I do it in a very excitable way. I say, oh, I eat plant-based, but I would love to bring some dishes that I could share with people and kind of like show them this lifestyle and way of eating. And who knows, people might even enjoy it. Like, heck, that would be amazing. And they usually do end up enjoying it. Like, at first it went from, when we got invited to my family dinners, way back, they would say like, oh my gosh, we don't know what to make you or whatever. So I started bringing this like roasted veggie dish, and it became like a staple, and they would request that I bring it like every single time. And people would, if I didn't bring it, they'd be like, oh my God, Derek, where is your like roasted veg dish? Or if I didn't get to go that year, they'd be like, oh, we missed the dish that you made. Not me, of course, but the dish.
And now that it's been like 7 or 8 years, now the last one that we were able to go to, they were so really great, like so accommodating, let us know like, oh, this dip, has some mayonnaise in it, but this dip is good. We tried to get like hummus. And so the first few holidays can be the hardest when people are kind of trying to wrap their brain around it. But then you really become like the lighthouse, and people kind of are like, this is really interesting. I want to learn more about it. And then they kind of start to explore more plant-based nutrition. So maybe Uncle Eddie this year isn't going to really want to try anything that you make. But then next year, maybe he's gonna bring something that you can try that's plant-based. It happens all the time.
Yes. So just bring something nice and bright and colorful and delicious. Like we have lots of recipes on this channel. First of all, like lots of holiday recipes. We were sitting there trying to think of like, what can we do this holiday season? And then we're like, okay, let's just like make a video with tips, because like we've already had so many recipes. But we do have a couple recipes coming up, holiday recipes that are gonna help you guys out. But we usually bring like a big roasted veggie dish, and then we'll also sometimes bring like a salad, and then we'll bring like maybe a little like Gardein roast or something like that, meat alternative, so that even if there's nothing vegan there, we can still have like a nice plate of food, and there's tons to share with everybody. So yeah, that's really cool. I love that tip, and I think approaching it in the way that you're like, hey, I'm really excited to share this dish with people. It's not a burden on you. It's not a burden on them, because all of a sudden they're like, okay, I don't have to worry about this crazy vegan anymore and his rabbit food. So I think that's good. Should we move on to the next one?
I think so. What's the next tip?
Oh, the next one. Okay. This is one that really helped me, and I've remembered this saying since I first went vegan. And it wasn't like actually right away. I learned it in the first couple years, and that actually really helped me to kind of like gain my strength and gain a voice. But the saying goes, and this is our fourth tip, don't feel like you have to compromise your values for others people's convenience or feelings. So what do we mean by that, Crystal?
So basically what that means is that you might come up against some situations where people might say, well, I made this, amazing pie and now you're not gonna eat it, or like, I had no idea that you're eating this way, and like, why don't you just have a little bit? No one will know. Where people are trying to get you to compromise your values to kind of please them or make them feel better. And you don't have to put up with that. You can have strong boundaries, even with family, and I know that can be really, really tough. Family is so tough, but hopefully they're really respectful of you. But you might come up into those situations, so always remember that you don't have to convenience people. You don't have to compromise your values just to make them feel a little bit better.
Yeah. And yeah, it might be tough, like, the first holiday season you go to her grandma's house and she's like, oh, I made this turkey that you always love and I put extra love into this one for you. And, it might be really tough that first holiday season. It might be, but like you said, it gets easier over time. And if you follow these other, tips that we've given you, like bringing a dish, being prepared to answer some questions, letting the host know, that sort of stuff, then this actually gets a lot easier. You don't generally have to compromise on your values. But if you do go there, nobody knows that you're eating any different than you did last year, and there's just meat everywhere, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, like, what do I do? And then you might you might end up just doing that because you feel a little bit pressured. So yeah, that's the fourth one.
But if that does happen, don't let it derail you, right?
No.
It's all about making sure that you're just trying your best and stuff like that.
Onward and upward.
Things can happen. Onward and upward to the next tip, which is...
be supportive of little efforts from other family members and friends.
So we wanted to include this tip because we think it's really important, because every single time we get together with family or we go and see people for the holidays or have these like amazing family dinners. We always have our family members telling us about the improvements that they're making.
Always.
They're eating so many more vegetables, and they're trying more meat alternatives, and they really enjoy them. Or they're trying beans and tofu, and they never thought they would ever have tofu.
Yep.
And so that's a really great thing, and be supportive of that.
Yep.
You might have family members that are never going to be vegan or even vegetarian, but they're trying their best, and eating more plants is really, really crucial. It's so healthy.
Yeah, a lot of the time you'll get people saying, oh, I've been eating less meat lately, and you'll be proud of me.
Great.
Or they'll say, oh, I've started to get like free-range eggs, or I've started to buy grass-fed meat because of, this documentary I saw, or because of whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, in that situation, it'd be really easy, the angry vegan in us, the passionate vegan in us. It would be really easy for us to go, yeah, but you're still killing animals. Yeah, but it's really not that much better.
It's not great for the environment. It's kind of just a label, but
you want to encourage. You want to encourage the progress and the momentum that they have, right? And especially in a situation like a family function, you're not going to want to just make any enemies there.
And it's also good to reflect on your journey too, because that was one of the steps that you took. You were excluding animal products. You were trying to, buy more humane products, and that was part of your journey.
It was, yeah.
And so to reflect back on your journey and see, oh, you know what? Actually, when I made those steps, that actually helped me get to where I am today.
Yep.
It's just good to, think about those things. So always be supportive of your family,
or
and
anybody,
your friends.
or anyone around you that does.
That are just trying.
It is amazing. Almost every time, if someone finds out that you're vegan or vegetarian or whatever, almost always will say, oh, I've been eating less meat lately, or I've been trying to eat more vegetarian or whatever. It almost always happens. So everyone, they're interested. A lot of people just don't know how to do it, or they're not willing to make the effort to go as far as we all have. But yeah, so I think that's probably it for this video. Thanks, Crystal. I always appreciate you being in them. It always makes it so much more fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and definitely leave your tips and your experiences about being vegan around the holidays in the comment section down below. We'd love to hear some of your stories, and share it with you so that we can all laugh and learn together. So thank you guys so much for watching this. Stay tuned for some holiday-inspired plant-based recipes coming up soon. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate it. We'll see you soon with another video.
Bye.
Bye. No. This can't have it. No. But I can have this. So what do you even eat? What would you even eat? I don't get it.
Why don't you eat meat anymore?
Why don't you eat meat anymore? I don't understand. Look at this. How good does this look? Like a little meat snowman. Looks amazing. Little meat man. Look at that little meat head.